Hey there, I'm Jackie Ferris. This week on the 302, we have a treat for your taste buds as we visit 3 hot restaurants in the Wilmington area as part of our annual restaurant show. Not only is this show going to make your mouth water, it will also give you a chance to win a fabulous weekend in Wilmington. So grab your napkin and tuck in. The 302 is serving up some delicious dishes. If you don't know the meaning behind Chef's Kiss, you're about to find out. This is the 302's restaurant show, and we are at Bar Reverie talking to General Manager Tom Austin about all that you can come and experience. Tom, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for being here. It's our pleasure.
This really is a fantastic atmosphere. When you walk in, there's this wall of wine. Tell me what that's all about.
It's an extensive wall of wine. We are a wine bar, travel inspired, with a list over close to 500 bottles, 45 wines by the glass. It spans the world, old world and new world, and a variety of price points. You can get an approachable $35 or $40 bottle of wine, all the way up to first growths, which will cost you a lot more than that.
So I know when people, have a nice meal, they want to have a wine that complements it. And you have several people on staff that are sommeliers. First of all, tell us what a sommelier is and how that can really add to the dining experience.
Sommelier is there to help guide you. Everyone's choices, everyone's preferences are different. We like to pair wine with food, but what I might like with food is not necessarily what you like with food. A sommelier and a good wine person has the ability to pick what that person might like that pairs well with the dish, and I think we have a team that's quite capable of that, and a wine selection that pairs well with our food, which is across the board travel inspired.
That really is, an added bonus, because a lot of people, they just don't know and they want to explore and they want to try new things. I had heard that over your lifetime that your taste in wine, your palate can change. So talk to me a little bit about that and how you accommodate that when suggesting a wine.
I completely agree with that, both in food and wine. The advantage we have, I think, is our Cruvinet system. Not many restaurants have it. We have 24 wines that are temperature and air controlled, where we can pour samples of wine, 6 whites and 18 reds, where if you're in between styles, you can try different styles before you commit to a whole glass. We pour them in 3-ounce and 6-ounce pours, as well as offering by the bottle. So it gives people a lot of option to step out of their comfort zone and try something new, which is what we love to do. We love tasting somebody on something they haven't had before.
So is there a go-to wine if someone comes in and they're just not sure, the one that kind of like is perfect for everyone?
I would like to think there's a go-to. There's no one perfect for everyone.
Yeah.
I think things that complement our food very well are Jig & Das and our Chateau Neuf de Pape, some of the medium body wines that aren't too full or too dry, that appeal to a wide range of palates, are wonderful. For whites, I think some of the crisp whites, the Viogniers and the Gewürztraminers, great food wines. They have plenty mineralistic qualities to it that pairs well. It's refreshing on a warm day, and it's really pairs well with our food.
So it's great to come and have a glass of wine here with one of your meals, but if you want to celebrate, you have wines that you can spend a pretty penny on that are well worth it, I would imagine.
Well, if you want to celebrate, which we love to do every day, I want you to be within your budget and within your comfort zone. But if your comfort zone's $4,000 first growth, we have some $4,000 first growths. If you're vintage champagnes that reach to the thousands, you have those, but doesn't make it necessarily any better for somebody than a $100 bottle of wine.
Sure.
It's what you're comfortable with and what you really like.
I think it's also the experience, right? You come and the atmosphere, it's certainly gorgeous here, and the food. Talk to me a little bit about, the brand of food that you try to share with your customers.
Yeah. that's a fantastic point as far as special occasions and things like that, and celebrating. We're the type of restaurant that's beautiful in here. If you want to come in jeans and a collared shirt, or you want to come in a suit, it's across the board acceptable and fun for everybody. Our food, I think, speaks the same way. It's travel inspired. We have Italian influences, we have French influences, we have Spanish influences, as well as American food, and there is something for everyone. Small bites, shareable plates, and entrees like Wagyu fillets and things like that, which you'll see Chef cooking today. His house-made pasta is unbelievable. He's a talented chef, and we're fortunate to have him.
Now we're going to roll some video right now and show folks exactly what they can anticipate when they come. So talk to us a little bit about what's happening in the kitchen right now.
Chef today was playing with his pasta game. He has a fresh-made tagliatelle with porcini mushrooms and Parmesan Reggiano, amazing pasta dish. I think I saw him back there with a Wagyu filet. Wagyu being one of the highest qualities of beef. The Wagyu he's making today is an American Wagyu, which is a crossbreed between a Black Angus and a Wagyu cattle, but unbelievable. It's done with palm paisan and fresh asparagus. Great dish this time of year, melts in your mouth. And I also saw one of my favorites, our Spanish octopus, grilled Spanish octopus with Casaltrano olives, paprika aioli, confit potatoes. It's fantastic.
Now, if your mouth isn't watering by now, you must have just eaten. So talk to us a little bit more about Chef Steve.
Chef Steve Taplin, we're fortunate to have him. One of the best chefs I've ever worked with in my hospitality career, and he spent the last decade at a small little place in Philadelphia called the Union Lake. An amazing property, multiple properties actually, but he was a chef up there for years, but he's a Delaware native. Went to Salesianum High School, and his parents live out here in Hockessin, which is a suburb of here. So we're really fortunate to have him back home and to bring his skill set to the local Delaware market.
That's fantastic. Now we're visiting you in the morning, and we keep hearing a milk frother in the background. So you come no matter what time of day, you have your meal, you have your wine. Some people like coffee afterwards. I mean, is it gourmet coffee as well?
It is. We open 7 days a week at 7 a.m. The building is here. We don't open for lunch till 11, but why have doors closed? We decided to make a coffee shop in the morning where our coffee is from Felix Coffee Roasters up in New York. Amazing, amazing coffee. Our team is of pastry chefs downstairs, makes fresh pastries every single day, which is taking on quite a following in this market.
Yeah.
There's a lot of coffee shops around, but not too many make their own fresh pastries every day,
now,
which is pretty special.
Is there a signature pastry?
Depends on who you ask. My favorite's the Queen of Mon, but her croissants are unbelievable, and our glazed pastries have a big following as well. Queen of Mon's my favorite.
I know I want to bring my husband back and dine with you guys, but if people want to know more, where do they go? Our
website, barreverie.com. We're located in the heart of Greenville, just a mile down from Winter. Amazing historic property here, and just a few miles from Longwood Gardens. So it's a beautiful country road drive just outside of the city of Wilmington.
Excellent. Well, Tom, thank you so much for allowing us to come in and sharing some time with you.
Thanks for coming.
All righty, we'll be right back.
I'm Clyde Hess from Robinson House. We're happy to share the history of the place with the folks at 302.
Welcome back. We are now at Crazy Cats, and I'm joined by Jessica Trace to talk all about this eclectic and just beautiful restaurant. Jessica, thank you so much for letting us come in and check things out.
Of course, welcome.
So let's talk a little bit about the aesthetic. You walk in the door, and it's hard to ignore. There are cats everywhere.
Definitely. Our owner's parents she was a very, eclectic lady. She was the kind of the decor of, the restaurant, the inn itself, and has put her own touches on, every little thing in this restaurant.
So let's talk a little bit about, the history of the restaurant and the inn.
Yeah, so the inn dates back to, late 1800s. It housed all of the workers for the DuPont powder mill. And specifically, the restaurant was the blacksmith shop, which we've kept, the tassels on the walls as well as the forge which is now the fireplace.
Now, when we talk about the inn, of course, we're talking about the Mont Shannon Inn, right?
Yes.
And that is located in this same building or next to the property, or?
So it's a whole, the whole property is about, a couple of acres, and it has, our guest registration barn, our spa, and then all of our houses are 28 rooms here at the inn.
So you could come to the inn, spend the whole weekend, and you wouldn't even have to leave property because everything you need. You got the spa.
Yep.
You got the food.
Exactly.
And the food is amazing here.
It is absolutely delicious.
Now, we have a couple of the dishes in front of us. Talk to us a little bit about your offering, about your menu and your theme in terms of food.
So we're very, farm to table, getting local produce around and kind of putting a spin on everything. Our specialty that we've had since the beginning of the restaurant is our crab bisque that everyone it's to die for, which we have here today, as well as, just a spin on your classic dishes with a little flair to it, thanks to our chef.
So a lot of favorites with unexpected twists.
Exactly.
I'm really enjoying looking at the scallops because it looks like he has worked in some fresh vegetables, and I don't know, is that bacon or ham or?
It is bacon.
No, it smells, if only you could smell this, it smells so good. Now, of course, let's talk a little bit about the foie gras. I mean, you can't find this just anywhere.
No, people, are always calling to make sure it's on our menu because everyone absolutely loves it. And with the quail egg on top, it just makes it absolutely just delicious.
And of course, whenever you have a meal, you got to have a dessert.
Exactly.
Tell me, this is lemon cake, right?
Yes, lemon cake with a, berry compote and a fresh whipped cream on top.
It really is delightful. And you said that you like to focus on farm to table. So you have relationships with farms and growers in the area. Talk to me a little bit about cultivating that to bring it to the table.
Yeah, so we deal with a lot of different produce companies and farms around this area, getting the freshest produce we can, things that I haven't even really seen, and putting them on a dish just to make it absolutely gorgeous. We also deal with, dairy farms, getting local cheeses around the area to do charcuterie boards and all that kind of stuff.
So I would imagine that your menu probably changes constantly.
Definitely. We're always changing our menu, per the season, as well as just weekly specials that we can, if we get something good in that, will only last maybe a week, we'll run a special on it, whether it's an appetizer or an entree meal.
Now, Crazy Cats has the luxury of being around for a very long time, being a Wilmington favorite. But you have a chef that was with you before and has come back and is really just making everything pop.
Exactly.
Tell me about your chef.
He is Chef Manny. He is awesome. I do the events here, and just being able to give my clients, not just your regular filet and, chicken dish. It's really he brings every single dish to life when it comes to the pairings, the sauce, and, what everything goes together. It's not just your basic event meal. It really is a true experience in every event, whether it's here in the restaurant or in one of our private event spaces.
Now, we're going to talk about the events in just a little bit, but we mentioned pairings, and I know a lot of people, when they go out to fine dining, they're a little nervous about wanting the perfect wine, because we've heard that a good wine can enhance the flavors of a dish. So do you have someone that can kind of like, I don't know anything about wine, but I want to learn. Do you have someone that would be able to help me figure out, you know, what to eat or what to drink with the scallops or the foie gras?
Definitely. I mean, our servers know we have an extensive wine list, but our servers definitely, you know, we've tasted different of our dishes with different pairings of our wines. So we can definitely guide you in the right direction of what, you know, will make the ultimate meal with a glass of wine as well as the meal to make it perfect for you.
All right, so let's talk about these events. What kinds of events can we have here?
So we do all different types of events, whether it's a wedding, whether it's a corporate retreat, a corporate happy hour, and then, you know, bridal showers, just birthdays, anniversaries. We kind of do it all. We're not just, you know, in one little niche. We have all different types of events here.
And you have different spaces.
Right.
Is this the main dining area here?
This is one of the spaces that we could use. I also have 4 other spaces located throughout the whole property.
Now, are they all cat themed?
Not all of them, but some of them, they each have their own little spice to them, whether it's a different animal or just a lot of history in each of the different spaces. There's always something to surprise you.
Well, I really enjoy the theme to this room. Simply, well, I can't really narrow it down to one thing. You have these really great high back chairs, and then of course the portraits that we see on the walls behind us. Tell us a little bit about those.
So these go back to the lady who had an antique shop here. Mm-hmm. She was referred to as a crazy cat. And everyone just kind of, you know, ran with that theme and going with the owner's parents and her mother having that eclectic feel. She just ran with the crazy cat theme and the portraits came.
So it's eclectic, but it's elevated. So
Exactly.
you walk in and you're like, okay, it's kind of like humor.
Right.
You know, it's
And a little
clever.
quirky.
It's quirky and clever and elevated. Now, if somebody wants to come and, you know, treat themselves to one of your amazing meals, how do they get more information?
I mean, definitely go on our website, monshannon.com, and go under dining, which you can go under Crazy Cat's Restaurant. You can see all the pictures of the restaurant itself, as well as our menu, and make a reservation.
Make a reservation for dinner and
Yep.
to stay the weekend.
Exactly, 2 in 1.
Fantastic. Jessica, thank you so much for allowing us to come in and sharing your offerings with us.
Definitely, thank you for being here.
And we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Rawbacher, and I love sharing my work on the 302.
Welcome back. We are now at Buckley's Tavern, and we're joined by the chef and owner, Tom Hannum, to talk a little bit about this historic site. Tom, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here.
Tell us a little bit about the history.
So the front part of the building, from the front staircase forward, was built in 1817. It was originally a home. Eventually, it became a toll booth for the dirt road that was out there, Kennett Pike. There was a blacksmith shop in the parking lot over here. And then eventually, in the 30s, it was bought by Kevin Buckley, and he turned it into a tap room. And then eventually in the 50s, another member of the DuPont family bought it and started modernizing it. They added this back section of the building, which is more concrete and steel versus 1817 lumber. And then they continued to add on. The family, a different family has it now, and they've managed to keep the building up, and they're giving it to their sons. They got it from their dad. So.
Absolutely. And when you walk through the doors, you really get a sense of time. You get a sense that, you know, this is a place where families have come for decades, you know, forever almost, to have a meal or to see a friend, that kind of thing. It really has a good vibe when you walk in.
Certainly, we wanted it to be that way. We wanted to make it new, but look old. We also wanted the kind of atmosphere you mentioned is we wanted people to be thought of as guests, not customers. Customers too transactional. Guests are like your family. We want them to come in, you treat them well, you feed them well, have a good time with them, and you hope they come back and see you again, and that's we look to have guests.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about, when your guests come, what kind of fare they're treated to.
Initially, we coined the phrase elegant comfort food is what we talked about. So I like comfort food. Even though I'm a chef, I'm a basic eater. I like comforting food. So we have a section on the menu called the Comfort Corner. So it's fish and chips, meatloaf, macaroni and cheese, chicken pot pie, things like that. And then there's also larger entrees, whether it's seafood or beef, a filet mignon with grilled asparagus and some roasted potatoes, or right now the scallops have an English pea risotto with a pomegranate gastrique around it. So we have a variety of different types of things. And there's also my favorite sandwich, which is the French dip. We sell probably 30 of those a day, to the Buckley burger, which is pretty much just the bacon and cheddar burger on a brioche roll, is our biggest seller. We're known for our mushroom soup. It's a pretty basic recipe, but it's really good.
So what is it about the mushroom soup
So
that...
we keep it simple, which is one thing. Sometimes food can be too complex. So it's just cremini mushrooms, button mushrooms, garlic, onions, celery, cook that down, and then add some fresh rosemary, puree that, thicken it just a little with some cornstarch, and then when we heat it up, we add heavy cream to it. So it's a pureed soup versus a brothy type soup with mushrooms in it.
That sounds really good.
And then we have some crispy fried leeks on top of that.
Now, you don't change your menu too often, but in the wintertime, you do add one thing.
We do add onion soup. I do it whenever it starts getting cold. So beginning of October, maybe. It's only on Fridays and Saturdays, so I want it to be kind of a special thing. People come, and people do just come just on Fridays or Saturdays just to have onion soup. Versus selling it all year long, it doesn't become special then. So I like making an attraction sort of out of some of the food items, so they know they can only get it those days. That's when they come.
Absolutely. So you have a lot of regulars that come in.
A lot of regulars. Every day at the bar, 3 o'clock, 3 to 4, you'll see certain people like to sit at certain seats, but there's lots of people come here every day.
So when you think about the menu, you called it elevated comfort food?
Elegant comfort.
Elegant.
Yeah, elegant. I worked at the Hotel de Pont for 33 years, so
Okay.
that's my background is French cooking or cuisine because I worked at the hotel, so I kind of want to elevate what you would consider comfort food.
Yeah. So how did you decide that you wanted to devote your life to pleasing others through food?
I knew in 7th grade I wanted to be a chef,
Yeah.
and I used to help my mother and my aunt cook. I'd be playing pinochle with my uncles on the weekends and just help bake something, help cook something, and I started doing that. And I'm probably one of my only kids in my class in high school that are probably still doing what I said I was going to do. And I'm 66 this year. I'll be 67 this year, actually.
Yeah.
66 right now, and I'm still doing what I said I was going to do.
That's good. They say if you do something that you love, you don't work a day in your life. So
Sure.
right now we're outside enjoying some shade along with the other diners. You have several different places where people can come enjoy a cocktail or enjoy a meal. Talk to me about, the different areas of the building.
We're kind of lucky. It looks like a small restaurant from the front, but it comes back.
Yeah.
So we have 140 seats inside and 140 seats outside when the weather's nice. So there's the back patio back here, which seats 40-ish. The front patio has 6 tables, which seats about 20. And the upper terrace bar, which is upstairs, is a full bar with about 13 seats. And then there's about 60 other seats up there on high top tables and low top tables that's open generally Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, depending on the weather, and sometimes Monday night too. It depends on what's going on.
But it's probably a great perch to kind of see things.
It's a busy place when the weather's just like this, and at night, and then it starts cooling off. It's packed up there.
Do you have events where like maybe someone will come in and play the guitar or something like that?
We don't do live music because of our liquor license. We just we can record music. We just play music in the background.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get into. I lose seats for one thing by having a band,
Sure.
or even if one musician takes up a table.
Okay.
I'd rather have the 4 seats.
Yeah, you
Because I don't have a
can't.
problem filling a restaurant typically.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you have a space for rentals if somebody
Yes.
wanted to talk to me about that?
So there's a banquet space above the front of the restaurant, right above the tavern area. It seats about 40, so we do lots of rehearsal dinners, bridal showers, baby showers, dinner meetings for corporate clients. And then I also do about 50 buses a year, bus tours. So they're going to Winter, Longwood Gardens, Nemours, Hagley, Wilmington Western Railroad. And they generally sit in the back dining room. So I can feed about 45 back there, and I take a few other tables in the middle dining room as well.
So it's the perfect place if you're coming for the weekend to, check out one of these places to stop,
For sure.
have a sandwich. I mean, if you could tell someone how to experience your establishment, what advice would you give them?
Well, come back twice a day.
There you go, twice a day.
I talk to guests. I visit the tables, and as I'm visiting them, I ask, what do they have for lunch? And I always tell them what I would eat. I like the French dip. I like the chicken pot pie. but I always try to sell them on desserts because we make them all in-house as well. So I kind of remind them, take a treat home if you're not going to eat it now.
Sure.
But all our desserts are made in-house by my pastry chef, and they're pretty tasty. But I tell them, this is a great place to stop either before you're going to Longwood or after you're done at Longwood or Winterthur or any other museums around.
Yeah.
And you can relax, especially when Longwood has the Christmas show and the lights. People come here for dinner, then they go there, or they go there and come here for a late dinner. So I get them on either end. So we're in the prime location. We're near Longwood, we're near Winterthur and Hagley and Nemours. So it's pretty easy for us to get those clientele here.
Now, you can't tell them about desserts without mentioning some of the desserts on the menu.
Okay, well, I tell tables today, particularly the cheesecake is my recipe I learned at culinary school at the CIA 47 years ago.
Wow.
But it's very lemony, so it's different than a typical New York style cheesecake. Same texture, but it has a lot of lemon in it. We have a key lime tart with a real Italian meringue.
Oh.
Most places make just a regular basic meringue. We use an Italian meringue. We've got a flourless chocolate cake. We've got a cobbler with vanilla ice cream from Woodside Farms out in Hocassin. We've got coconut cakes. If you like coconut, it's got coconut in the cake, coconut in the filling, and coconut on top. So a lot of different things in the picture, different flavors and textures and price points.
Well, you had me at the key lime. Sold. So if somebody wants to take a look at the menu and see what your hours are, wants to come for a visit, where do they go?
Buckley'sTavern.com lists all that information. It's got beautiful videos and photos showcasing the restaurant on the main page. You can just click on the menu tab and see what's on the menus. There's also hors d'oeuvre menus for private events if you want to pick on some hors d'oeuvres for private events.
Fantastic. Well, Tom, thank you so much for allowing us to come in and making us hungry. It was our pleasure.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
We'll be right back. Doesn't all this food look great? Well, now is your chance to win a fabulous getaway to Wilmington and a 2-night stay at the Inn at Mont Shannon, 2 Brandywine Treasure Trail passports, and dinner for 2 at Bar Reverie, all courtesy of the Greater Wilmington Convention and Visitors Bureau. All you have to do is visit our Facebook page and comment on our contest post. The winner will be chosen at random. Good luck, and if you visit one of these awesome places, make sure you take a picture and share it with us on Facebook. Now, here are some other things you might want to check out. For more information on what's happening in the Brandywine Valley, you can visit the Greater Wilmington Convention and Visitors Bureau at visitwilmingtonde.com. That'll do it for this week's episode of The 302. Make sure you follow us on Facebook for behind-the-scenes content you're just not going to get anywhere else. We're going to leave you now with some beauty shots from around the Wilmington area. Until next time, I'm Jackie Ferris. Tell them you saw it on The 302.